In today's video, we'll be talking about all of the controversy that's going on with PlayStation, Sony, Fortnite Crossplay, and we'll be taking a look at Sony's response to the entire situation, and it's rather weak. Naughty Dog is saying that Ellie is the only playable character in The Last of Us Part 2, and that might disappoint some people. Also, we've got to look at Spider-Man PS4's world map, and how big that looks to be and how it compares to Insomniac's previous games. Also, one of the notable absences at E3 has been RockSteady, the team behind Batman Arkham. They are said to be working on a brand new game. Many rumors have circulated that it's a new Superman game. Obviously, that wasn't shown off, but they do have a statement. Also, I want to point your guys' attention to a Ghost of Tsushima demo. It's the same demo that we saw at E3, but it's with Japanese voiceovers, which of course is a lot more suitable for the type of game that they're going for. And if you didn't know, the game is going to have options for either English voiceovers or Japanese voiceovers, so you can go whichever route you like. And then finally, I'll be rounding out the video with a great deal on an external hard drive compatible with the PlayStation 4. Of course, I imagine that the majority of you guys have a PS4 with a 1TB hard drive. That might be a little bit limiting, so getting an external isn't a bad idea at all. More on that at the end of the video. First, let's talk about everything that's been going on with Sony and Fortnite. Obviously, Fortnite just released on the Nintendo Switch, but one of the major issues is that PlayStation users cannot carry over their progress onto the Nintendo Switch. Xbox One users, however, can carry over to the Nintendo Switch no problem. Sony is now facing a growing amount of backlash, and rightfully so, and after a while of silence, here's what they said. Quote, "We're always open to hearing what the PlayStation community is interested in to enhance their gaming experience. Fortnite is already a huge hit with PS4 fans, offering a true free-to-play experience so gamers can jump in and play online. With 79 million PS4 sold around the world and more than 80 million monthly active users on PlayStation Network, we've built a huge community of gamers who can play together on Fortnite and all online titles. We also offer Fortnite Crossplay support with PC, Mac, iOS, and Android devices, expanding the opportunity of Fortnite fans on PS4 to play with even more gamers on other platforms." Now, this just reeks of absolute damage control to me. Why are you throwing out statistics right now about how many PS4s you've sold and how you offer crossplay with other platforms? And we are only interested in the fact that there's no crossover between the Switch and the PlayStation 4, and that sucks. I know a lot of gamers myself, their personal setup is the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch. Those are the two platforms they chose to pick up, and of course, as Fortnite being one of the biggest games ever, having some carryover to both platforms would be very nice. And even if you're not a fan of Fortnite, this is once again Sony and PlayStation seeing that they're in the lead so much and throwing their weight around, and that is unfortunate. We have to be vocal and give Sony backlash for things like this. Even if you're a gigantic fan of the PlayStation 4, you always have to look out for yourself and look at the consumer's best interest. And Sony right now blocking Epic Games from allowing cross-play and progression sync between the PS4 and Nintendo Switch, that is a pretty major deal, and hopefully at some point they will remedy it. But based on this response, I believe they have no intent in doing so. Moving on from that, The Last of Us Part 2 had a big gameplay demo over at E3. Some weren't happy with the gigantic emphasis on Ellie. Personally, I would love to play as Joel, but that might not be the case. During a behind closed doors session, IGN asked if there will be other playable characters outside of Ellie. Co-lead game designer Richard Cambier said, quote, "We aren't saying anything about that yet. However, it was creative director Neil Druckmann who took a moment and said, quote, Ellie is the only playable character in the game." Now, this could be a diversion. If Joel was a playable character in the game, you know they wouldn't be like, oh yeah, Joel's a playable character in the game, because that would obviously spoil the title. And Naughty Dog has done it in the past before with The Last of Us. They did say that Joel was the only playable character. If you did play through the entirety of Last of Us, there was a little bit of a portion where you just played as Ellie, and of course Ellie did have her own DLC in Left Behind, so I wouldn't rule it out of the question that Joel would have a playable section or would be a major character. However, it does look like as far as the main character goes, the character that the story revolves around, it is gonna be Ellie, and again, that does disappoint me. I thought Joel was just such an awesome character and a very engaging character, but it's Naughty Dog at the end of the day, and I'm sure they'll do a good job with the game. Moving on from that, if you look at the rest of the PlayStation 4 games for the rest of the year, Spider-Man PS4 is without a doubt one of the most ambitious and one of the most highly anticipated titles coming. Can't say most anticipated considering this fall is absolutely stacked with games like Fallout 76 and Red Dead Redemption 2, but Spider-Man is up there with the best of them. And with the E3 demo, we got an idea of how big the map is, and the exact world map size can be seen with a GIF that's been posted over on Imager. I'll leave a link for it in the description box down below. The guys over at Gamers Point have it posted, and they do have a screenshot of the map itself and Spider-Man looking at the world from a high vantage point, and the world looks pretty massive. Insomniac did say that this is their biggest game ever, but Insomniac really hasn't been known for gigantic open worlds outside of Sunset Overdrive, and Sunset Overdrive was pretty big, and this game looks to be significantly larger than that. The E3 demo was fantastic, and expect Spider-Man to be yet another stellar PlayStation 4 exclusive, as it'll be releasing on September 7th.
I mean, this is an amazing industry, and to be part of it is one thing, but to work on something you truly love, it's something that when you were a little kid thinking, oh my god, could I ever work on a Spider-Man game, let alone be in video games, is just absolutely surreal. I use that word a lot when I describe working on this game, and to work with a group like Sony and work with Marvel, and that feeling is felt by so many Insomniacs, so we couldn't be prouder, and the support we've gotten across the board, not only from Sony, Marvel, but also the fans, has been spectacular.
Brian, it just looks incredible. I mean, there's no other word for it, and
you're flabbergasted.
I really am.
We're talking about Spider-Man, we're talking about superheroes. One of the notable absences at E3 was RockSteady, the team behind Batman Arkham, and Sefton Hill, the game director and co-founder of RockSteady Games, posted this on Twitter, quote, "Hi all, I wanted to share a quick message from me and the RockSteady team. We know some of you were disappointed that we were not at E3 this year. The whole team has been reading your comments, and all of us here at RockSteady really appreciate your passion for our next project. Knowing how much it means to you, keep us inspired and energized to deliver a game that you will be proud of. We'll share it with you as soon as it's ready." Now, personally speaking, this was one of the very disappointing absences to me. I am a gigantic fan of RockSteady, and if you played the Batman Arkham games, you're probably a big fan of them too. And whatever they're working on next, if it is a possible Superman title, that would be fantastic, because Superman hasn't really been done justice in the gaming world, and I'm sure that RockSteady would deliver something of quality. At this point, we're still unaware of what they're working on, but hopefully we'll hear about it soon, and hopefully we're not left waiting until E3 of next year. There's still a lot of upcoming shows where RockSteady could debut the game. Of course, we have Gamescom, we have PlayStation Experience, but as RockSteady said, they will share the game when it's ready. Also, quickly, I want to point your guys' attention to a great Ghost of Tsushima demo. It's up on PlayStation Japan's website, and it has Japanese voiceovers, and it kind of does the setting a little bit more justice. I know a lot of you guys would prefer to play the game with English voiceovers, but what I really like about this is because of the setting, and even though the game is being done by a Western studio in Sucker Punch is gonna offer the game to be playable in both English as well as Japanese with English subtitles, so that'll give the players some option. Honestly, it might even give you a reason to play through the game twice. I might not go that far, but it will give you a different experience both way through for sure. I'll leave a link to the Ghost of Tsushima demo in Japanese in the description box down below if you're interested in the game like I am. This honestly became my most anticipated PlayStation 4 exclusive after that incredible E3 demo. You should check it out. Again, link in the description box down below.
Jin, 遅かったな。
そうことをせくな。ごぼうはどこだ。
もう子供に先を越された。寺でなぶられてる頃合いさ。
行くぞ。
And finally, over on Newegg, you can pick up a Western Digital 3TB external hard drive. It's listed at $90, but after you use a promo code, it'll be knocked down to just $75. Now, this deal is only available for today. The promo code is expiring today. So if you're interested in this, I would recommend picking it up ASAP. Having an external drive with all that extra storage space is really handy, especially when you take a look at some of the games you're installing these days. They're ranging from 50, 70, even 100 gigabytes in some cases after all of the downloadable content and things like that. And at this point, if you're an avid gamer, I wouldn't say that 1 terabyte is quite enough, so a 3 terabyte external is a great option to give you a little bit more headroom. That is going to conclude this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about the PlayStation 4 lacking crossplay with the Nintendo Switch and carryover with Fortnite? It's really disappointing. Hopefully it gets remedied soon, but I don't know. Based on that response, things are looking kind of bleak. Naughty Dog is saying that Ellie is the only playable character in The Last of Us Part 2. Do you think that's true, or do you think it's a diversion? The world map in Spider-Man PS4 looks huge, and that game will be releasing on September 7th. RockSteady is working on another game. They may have not been at E3, but they will show off their game when they are ready. Check out the Ghost of Tsushima demo in Japanese, link down below, and that Western Digital 3 terabyte external, $75, really good deal on that as well, link also down below. Sound off with your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.